Good Karma Brands radio station.
Michael K. is on the radio today, and he ain't afraid to say what he's thinking. It's the Michael K. Show on 880 ESPN Radio.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on a rainy Monday. It is October 13th, 2025, and you have stumbled upon the fastest 2 hours in sports talk radio. Let's get to it. A lot of stuff to talk about, so let's start talking about it. We'll start with the New York Jets in London. Their ineptitude actually is a transatlantic ineptitude as they lose to the Broncos 13-11. This was a game that was right there for the Jets, right there. The defense did a good job, a nice bounce back by them. They held the Broncos down to just 13 points. And the Jets had an opportunity to win, but their offense couldn't do anything. Justin Fields was inept. Got sacked 9 times. And when you get sacked 9 times, obviously the narrative is going to be the offensive line didn't do a good job. That wasn't the case yesterday. The case yesterday is that Justin Fields holds on to the ball too long. He has incredible trepidation about throwing the ball, doesn't want to get rid of it, holds, and even the best offensive line, let's say the Philadelphia Eagles, they can't protect for that long. So, conservatively, I'd say 6 or 7 of the 9 sacks were Justin Fields' fault. And then you've got him with 10 net yards passing with the 9 sacks. So he actually passed for 45 yards, but then you have minus 55 with the sacks, and that is the most or the fewest passing yards net in an NFL game since Ryan Leaf did it in 1998 when he was minus 19. Just awful. Just awful. Sacked 9 times. But here's the kicker on this. That wasn't the worst part. That wasn't the most sobering part of the game. That wasn't the thing that concerns you the most. The thing that concerns you the most is that Aaron Glenn, and I hate to do this after 6 starts, doesn't seem like he has a clue. If you were an employee and you had a day like Aaron Glenn had in the second quarter of the game yesterday, you'd probably be called on the carpet to discuss what's wrong. Why did you do that? How could you do that? And your job security would be called into question. What happened at the end of the first half in London against the Broncos was a scream of, I don't know what I'm doing. And I hate to say this, again, it's just 6 games. Maybe he'll grow into the job, but he came into the job so cocky and so sure of himself that his way was the right way. You know, he comes from the Bill Parcells tree, Sean Payton tree, that he knew what was going on. Well, if you watch the end of the second quarter, you would have to sit there and go, he doesn't know what he's doing. So he has a fake punt on 4th down, and he gets the 1st down, and then he runs ridiculous plays, and then for some strange reason, rather than have the Broncos use their timeout because they might get the ball back, he used his timeout. So you have 4th and 7 or 4th and 8 or 3rd and 7 and 3rd and 8. And you've got 27 seconds left on the clock. And you decide to just run out the clock. Because you don't want to, it was 4th down. You don't want to turn the ball over. You don't even try a Hail Mary. Garrett Wilson was seen walking up the field, not arguing, but you could see pestering Aaron Glenn. What was that about? He was afraid to give the ball back. So today he admitted, you know what, on second thought, what I probably should have done was run the clock down to 4 or 5 seconds and then throw a Hail Mary. Is that so difficult that you need a cross-country flight to think about what you should have done? He's not thinking in real time. He's not getting it done. That was ineptitude at its finest. Now remember, Sean Payton used to coach Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn was on Sean Payton's staff. Sean Payton likes Aaron Glenn. And even he said that the decisions at the end of the first half were somewhat curious. He didn't exactly know what was going on. On ESPN, they were laughing about it. Rex Ryan was laughing about it. Here's what I'd like to put in your mind. It was after this London game last year that Woody Johnson foolishly fired Robert Saleh. Now, I'm not saying Robert Saleh is a combination of Bill Belichick and Vince Lombardi. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that he deserved at least to finish out the season. So they turned it over to Jeff Ulbrich, and Jeff Ulbrich might have been one of the worst head coaches you'll ever see. But he did win 3 games. Jeff Ulbrich ended up going 3-9 over the final 12 games of the season after Saleh was fired after 5. Do you see Aaron Glenn winning 3 games right now the way this team is playing? Now, the schedule loosens up just a little bit, but do you look at any team on the Jets schedule and say, oh, yeah, that's a win? Oh, that's the homecoming game. Every single team that's going to play the Jets this year looks at them as the homecoming game. And you guys know what the homecoming game is. That's the game that a school schedules on its homecoming day. All the alumni come back because you know you're gonna kick their butt. And when you lose a homecoming game, then you're kind of in trouble. That's when people start to think, well, maybe he's not long for this job. Now, under no circumstance, and am I saying that Aaron Glenn should be let go, but there is concern here. There is concern. Do you feel better right now with Aaron Glenn as your coach than you did with Robert Saleh? I don't think you do. Do you feel better right now with Aaron Glenn as your coach than Adam Gase? Now, Adam Gase was a train wreck, but over the first 6 games of the season, can you tell me that Aaron Glenn's not a train wreck? And to make it all more comical, remember that blocked field goal where they run down the field and score a touchdown that gave the Jets a short-lived lead? And he's sprinting along the sideline, and he just had a ridiculous dance. That will forever be emblazoned in highlight reels if, in fact, he never turns it around with the Jets. I'm just sick and tired, though, at my side of the business, hailing Aaron Glenn is the answer. He's going to change the culture. He's the real deal. This guy knows what he's doing. We don't have any idea until we see the guy making the decision. And it's completely different being a head coach than it is being an offensive or defensive coordinator. So he might have been a great defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Now you've got to answer all the questions. Now you're the guy who has to tell them everything that's right and everything that's wrong. You've got to make the decisions on timeouts. You've got to make the play calls. You've got to decide whether or not you take out a quarterback. Which brings us to another question that Aaron Glenn was asked. And it was asked by Brian Costello, who A, is a friend, and B, is a longtime reporter covering the Jets for the New York Post. And he was in London yesterday with the team, and he said, is there any thought about removing Justin Fields as a quarterback? And Aaron Glenn goes, come on, man, what kind of question is that? It's a legitimate question, Aaron. It's a legitimate question. And then he said today, why I thought he's played well the first 5 games. I thought he had his moments, and one bad game doesn't lose somebody their job. Lost Xavier Gibson his job. One bad play lost Xavier Gibson his job. You can't tell me that other than, I think it was the first game of the season, that Justin Fields has looked good. You can't. Now, has he looked as awful as he did yesterday? No, but he hasn't looked good. They don't have a passing game. So what you're doing is you're putting all the pressure on the defense, and defense did its job, and you are completely neutering arguably the best player on your team, Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson had 3 catches yesterday for 13 yards. So you've got Taylor on the bench. You've got Tyrod Taylor on the bench. And, the calls are now, well, you should have gone to Taylor. Well, there's 2 schools of thought here, so I'm not going to knee-jerk reaction that and say, oh, yeah, that's definitely the way they should go. They brought in Justin Fields thinking he could be answer. Well, he's not the answer right now. And you see the amount of times he's bounced around from team to team. And Mike Tomlin's a pretty smart coach. Pretty smart coach. So he had him at the beginning of the season when Russell Wilson was out. He was 4-2, and then he went to Russell Wilson. And Russell Wilson played well at the beginning and then really struggled in the last 5 games. Never even thought about going back to Justin Fields. Never even thought about bringing back Justin Fields. Never. Well, you think he doesn't know what he's doing? Mike Tomlin's dumb? Never thought about it. The team couldn't score with Russell Wilson as the quarterback. They're heading into the playoffs. He never thought about going to Justin Fields. But the Jets thought, Aaron Glenn thought, and you got to say it's Aaron Glenn. You can't say it's Darren Muji because Aaron Glenn seems like he's the boss of Darren Muji. This is the guy we're taking a chance on. Now, let's do some Monday morning quarterbacking here because it's Monday afternoon. Jet fans, look yourself in the mirror right now, and you tell me that this team would not be better off, wins and loss-wise, with Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback rather than Justin Fields. Now, tell me honestly, and you're more than welcome to call in and go back and forth with me, and I was no fan of Aaron Rodgers. I thought he was a jerk. But the reason they let Aaron Rodgers go, according to Aaron Rodgers, that Aaron Glenn said, I don't want you in the back of the room while I'm at the front of the room speaking to the team, second-guessing what I'm saying. So right away, Aaron Glenn is exposing how insecure he is. If you're a coach and you believe in what you're selling, it doesn't matter if somebody is second-guessing you. Maybe Aaron Glenn just thought, this guy might know more than me. I don't need him exposing me. That's why I let him go. Now, I know Bill Parcells always said, you don't want a superstar quarterback. You don't want a quarterback that's going to take everything away from everybody else and take the air out of the room. I get that. But the way the whole thing was handled, and I said it at the time, so this is not revisionist history right now. You fly the guy all the way from the West Coast, and in 20 seconds, you tell him, we're not bringing you back. That was an awful way to start your tenure. Just awful. So you decided to go all in on Justin Fields. Not all in, but 2 years at decent money. When you could add Aaron Rodgers back because he was under contract anyway. And you're eating a lot of that dead cap money to this day. You're telling me the Jets wouldn't be better with Aaron Rodgers. But again, Aaron Glenn was so sensitive about this guy maybe leaning into his authority that he got rid of him right away. Didn't even give him a chance. Now, you're watching what Pittsburgh's doing, and he's not lighting it up. He's not the Aaron Rodgers who won the MVP a couple of times in Green Bay. He's not that guy. But he's still a serviceable quarterback. He has them 5-1 on a team with a good defense. He's got them 5-1. He doesn't make mistakes, gets the ball out. He does get the ball out quickly and completes passes that have to be completed. Justin Fields looks lost. He looks absolutely lost. 9 sacks. The New York Jet offense, 82 total yards. I mean, are you kidding me? They're 0-6 for the third time in their franchise history. You know how the other years ended up? 1996, they started off 0-6. They were 1-15 at the end. 2020, they were 0-6. They finished 2-14. And then he has the nerve to say, come on, man, what kind of question is that? It's a legitimate question. I don't think that Brian Costello was spit stirring there. It was a legitimate question. Your quarterback looked absolutely incompetent. And you're asked whether or not he's going to be the quarterback when you've got a really good backup quarterback in Taylor. I don't get it. I don't get what's happening. They look lost. They're not disciplined. The quarterback is inept. The coach doesn't seem like he has a clue. Again, just take the last drive at the end of the second quarter. If you weren't up early, because it was a 9:30 start here in New York, if you weren't early, please take a look and you will scratch your head and go, what is he doing? I was sitting there eating a bagel, muttering to myself, what is he doing? It almost seemed mind-boggling. And then Kurt Warner was doing the game with Rich Eisen, and Kurt Warner said, I wish I had an answer for what's happening here. No one had a clue because it didn't make any sense what he was doing. So listen, the quarterback might be bad, whatever the case may be. They're always looking for a quarterback. They're always searching. I get it. Most teams that don't have a quarterback are always searching. And you could find a quarterback next year maybe. But when your coach looks so lost that he doesn't know how to coach, that he doesn't know how to massage a clock toward the end of the first half, that's scary. That's the warning signal to me that something is up here. This guy does not look as locked into this job as we thought. Am I here to bury him and say get rid of him after 6 games? Of course not. But it's something to look for. Again, if he was running for office, he ran for office with this stump speech. Discipline. We're going to cut down on penalties. We're going to play smart football. 0 for 3. 0 for 3. The discipline's not there. The penalties continue. He doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. So he got elected on those promises, and you know what? He has not come close to delivering on any of them. And the guy that you really thought was the answer, you're the guy who thought that Justin Fields was the answer. You're the guy who let a future Hall of Famer get away because you said Justin Fields is the answer. So even though Aaron Rodgers is not going to be a long-term solution, ask yourself this, everybody. Wouldn't it be better to be 2-4 right now, maybe even 3-3 with Aaron Rodgers, and then continue your search for that elusive quarterback as the season goes on? Wouldn't that be better? Instead, you chose to let him go in an embarrassing fashion, and this is the quarterback that you chose that you think this is the answer. So far, the decisions that Aaron Glenn has made, they don't look that great. They don't look that great. Then you gave Garrett Wilson all this money, and you gave Sauce Gardner all this money. Why'd you give Garrett Wilson the money if you have a quarterback that can't throw the ball? Why would you sink all that money into a position that doesn't matter if the quarterback can't throw the ball? Let's go to the phones and see what you're thinking. It's time for you to co-host. Let's go with Muhammad in Long Island. Start it off.
What's going on, Michael? Thanks for taking my call. Always love listening to you, man.
Thank you.
Listen, you stomped on all my points. I'm not here to say get rid of Aaron Glenn, right? But I just want to make these couple of quick points. Last year, his name is Mike Tomlin, was able to go 4-2 with Justin Fields as starting quarterback.
Yep.
And Justin Fields, I looked this up yesterday. Justin Fields has never started a season 0-6 in his career. I'm not saying he's not bad at the quarterback position because he is. He holds onto the ball entirely too long. I counted yesterday, more than 4 seconds multiple times. It's too much. But this is a coaching thing. This is a coaching problem. And like you hit it on the head with how they treated Aaron Rodgers. I just didn't understand what was the plan when you already saw what Justin Fields put on tape. So what was the plan here? And another point to ownership. I know we can't fire ownership, but if the plan was to turn the organization around, why are we still hiring first-time head coaches? How does that help us? Thanks for taking my call, Mike.
You got it. That's always a gamble. You're going to hire a first-time head coach, and you're going to hope that it's, you struck gold, that you got the new Sean McVay. That's what you're hoping for. But they didn't get the new Sean McVay. And again, they keep going with defensive coaches, so that sucks the life out of an offense. So is he a genius offensively? Is that really going to make it work for you? I don't know. Let's go to Pete in Brooklyn. Pete.
Hey, Michael. Long time no speak. I'll just get this off real quickly. Is not only if Aaron Rodgers was still a quarterback, but imagine if Rex Ryan came back as the coach. What do you think the record would be?
I don't think they'd be. Listen, I'm not saying that it was the right move to hire Rex Ryan. I thought the way he went about it was clunky and embarrassing, and I said it at the time. But you can't tell me they'd be 0-6. I'm sorry, they wouldn't be 0-6. Because he's good with reclamation stuff. When he took over the Jets the first time, they were in a pretty bad way, and boom, he had them, in the AFC Championship game 2 years in a row. So if you had a combination of Ryan and Rodgers, there's no way they're 0-6. I don't know what their record is, but there's no way that they're 0-6. Let's go to Gordon in Buffalo. Gordon.
Hi, Michael. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good.
I'm a Bills fan, not a Jet fan, but I will say this. As someone who had Tyrod Taylor as their starting quarterback in the first year of their new coach with Sean McDermott, I'm telling you now, and I get that Justin Fields did well under Mike Tomlin last year, but I'm telling you now, he is much more serviceable than Justin Fields would be right now. He has proven that when he came into play for the Jets this year. And on top of that, he's going to keep you in games on a week-by-week and give you a closer look at what your coach is doing besides making all the wrong decisions in blowout games. So I'm telling you now, Fields is probably your answer here at quarterback. And to the Jet fans who are sitting here who probably want him gone, you have a legitimate gripe. It's been a miserable season for you people. But I'll say this. You can't really evaluate this coach until you have a quarterback of substance who can actually hold you in games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's my fear, Gordon. This was this coach's choice. Nobody forced it on him. I mean, if he inherited Aaron Rodgers and kept him, and it didn't work out with Aaron Rodgers, and you could say, well, they owed him all this money, so they ran out the contract, whatever. This was his choice. This was the guy that he felt was the answer, that this could be the quarterback for the Jets for the next 10 years. So they signed him to a 2-year deal at pretty decent money. I don't know if there were teams lining up for him, and he saw something in him. Mike Tomlin didn't. So Mike Tomlin had the choice that the Jets had. Can I bring in Aaron Rodgers, or should I keep Justin Fields? So they wanted no part of Russell Wilson. So that was out of the equation. Do I want Aaron Rodgers or do I want Justin Fields? Mike Tomlin said, give me Aaron Rodgers. I don't want Justin Fields. So what does that say? Now, one thing about Taylor, serviceable quarterback. Are you going to win a Super Bowl with him? No. But maybe the Jets are playing 3D chess and we don't even know about it. Maybe the Jets are saying, listen, let's be as bad as we can be, and we'll get the number 1 pick in the draft. But the sad part is you don't have Peyton Manning coming out of college. You don't have Andrew Luck coming out of college. So far, the college game, quarterback, there's nobody jumping off the page at you. So it's not like trashing this season and finishing 1-16 is going to get you a franchise quarterback. You have no idea. There doesn't seem to be that guy at this point, halfway through the college football season, that you go, oh, yeah, that's the guy that's going to be my quarterback for the next 15 years. But maybe that's the game they're playing. If that's the game they're playing, then I think they're dead wrong. Because you're trying to institute a change in your culture and have people believe and have people listen to what you have to say. What you're selling is something that they consider viable. But if you don't win, they're not listening. Steve Young told us that a couple of weeks ago. And that was 2 weeks ago. He said that Jet game was a really big game for the Jets. That was against the Dolphins because you've got to have wins in order to hang your hat on selling your program. The Jets were on the field. They saw the way that the second quarter was handled. You don't think they have grave concerns about the way the coach handled that second quarter? Come on. And I'm not a guy who jumps coaches and managers that much. I know it's a really difficult job. Really difficult. But I was flabbergasted by the way that second quarter was handled. And then, making me feel better about my knee-jerk reaction was Sean Payton going, I don't know, and this is a friend of Aaron Glenn's, and Kurt Warner being absolutely flummoxed on the air. Well, I wish I could explain what was happening. Rex Ryan laughing about it on NFL Countdown on ESPN. It was really, really concerning to see a coach mangle a clock situation and a strategy that way. And then less than 24 hours later, he figures, on second thought, I should have run the clock down and thrown a Hail Mary. That's what you came up with? Why'd you call the timeout? Why'd you do the fake punt? You couldn't throw, so all you're doing is running the ball into the offensive line. Wouldn't it have been better to just run the clock down and not embarrass yourself? Instead, you have the fake punt, which made no sense to me at all. That's the thing that really got Kurt Warner. What was the fake punt about? Because if you miss that, then the Broncos were scoring. You're giving the ball back on the 40. So you have the fake punt, which had so much risk to it and very little reward. Even when it was done, you said, wow, there's not much reward to this because they're not able to score. Well, they ended up getting the first down, but then they did nothing with it. And they wasted a timeout that should have been wasted by the Broncos. That was really, really, really suspect poor coaching. Really was. Steve Young joins us at 1:30 every Monday. We'll talk to him about what we're talking about as well. So stick around for that. I'll continue to talk with you. First, I want to tell you about the FanDuel Sportsbook app. That's right. Let's see. Yeah. You can have it in your home for all your favorite NFL bets, from yards to touchdowns to who will win. With FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. Tonight, FanDuel is giving all customers a 30% PBT. That's right. You can get in on the action with a 30% PBT tonight during the Monday Night Football doubleheader. So make FanDuel your go-to app for any snap. Just visit FanDuel.com/K to bet on the game. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with the gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Monday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. The Jets are now 0-6 on the season with a loss in London. How long will they stick with Justin Fields? Can it get any worse?
The reason why we didn't win this game offensively is just because we couldn't consistently throw it. Do we have a better option that can come in and actually throw a football? Yes, we do. Why not use it?
Because to him, that's a ridiculous question.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
My dad is bringing home the best birthday cake ever.
It was my 5th birthday, and my dad was bringing home the cake.
Should have been here a half hour ago.
The cake never made it, and neither did my dad.
911, what's your emergency?
That was the day a drunk driver killed my dad.
Daddy?
Impaired drivers take lives. Think.
Sponsored by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee. Aired in cooperation with the New York State Broadcasters Association.
Health surprises can change your life in an instant. You've seen it happen to others, but it doesn't have to be your story. At Princeton Longevity Center, we customize actionable and proactive health plans to maximize your lifespan and take control of your health. Our Cancer Check program combines cutting-edge technology with top medical expertise to keep you ahead of potential risks. With advanced full-body imaging, genetic testing, and multi-cancer detection blood tests, we look for even the earliest signs of problems. Results are analyzed by expert physicians who craft a personalized plan to safeguard your future. You're not just a patient, you're a partner in your health journey, backed by a team committed to helping you live longer, healthier, and more vibrantly. Our programs have saved hundreds of lives and empowered countless others to take control of their health. Be proactive with your health for the ultimate peace of mind. Call 888-8000-PLC or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Score a win this game day with Amazon Pickup, the MVP of package pickup. Need that new football jersey for the big matchup? With Amazon Pickup, you can collect your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule. Whether you're running from work or home or straight to the tailgate, Amazon Pickup makes it easy and worry-free at no extra cost. Don't miss kickoff. Grab your gear and your packages when it works for you. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
Just printed from the Erie Canal Press, the most coveted ticket, New York Lottery's $1 million raffle, hath arrived. 15 fortunate souls shall come into the fortune of a millionaire.
Translation, the $1 Million Raffle is here, and 15 winners are going to become millionaires. The New York Lottery commemorates 200 years of the Erie Canal with your best odds of winning $1 million. Limited tickets available. Ask your local retailer today. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
The holiday season is right around the corner, and if you're anything like me, you're already thinking about how to make it extra special. Whether it's traveling to see family, spoiling the kids, or finally getting that big-ticket item for your partner, it all adds up. That's where Navy Federal Credit Union comes in. All veterans, active duty, and their families can become members and enjoy some special benefits. With the Cash Rewards and Cash Rewards Plus cards, you could earn a $250 cash bonus when you spend $2,500 in the first 90 days. Offer ends January 1st, 2026, and you can earn up to 2% unlimited cash back. Plus, members have access to financial advice, award-winning 24/7 service, and smart tools to manage your money. So don't wait. Join now at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Cashback terms and conditions apply. Visit NavyFederal.org/cash rewards for more information.
Welcome back to the Michael K. Show, 131 here on the East Coast. And we always get a chance on this Monday at this time to talk with the Hall of Famer Steve Young. And I got questions for Steve. Steve, how you doing?
Michael, doing great, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing better than Aaron Glenn and Justin Fields. Did you watch any of that?
Yeah.
9 sacks. Was it on Fields? Was it on the offensive line? What was happening there?
Well, so whenever, I don't know. How have you felt about the international games generally? I generally feel like they're poorly played. No one plays well, but that's just. I don't know, when I watch and pay attention, it seems like they're all kind of. So it's not excuse. It's not like we got a problem, right? I'm not trying to that was historically horrific. And so I just there's no way around it. And when you're not winning, I just as a player, who knows what that feels like. There's nothing worse than now looking into the future and having 10 more, 11, 12 more weeks of this nightmare. So you got to figure out how to get out of it. And so how do you get out of it? Look, it's everything. And so but if you can't, Justin Fields is a talented player. I just know that in my heart. I know he's trying to figure out how to do the thing that's very hard, which is I am a dynamic athlete that can make plays, but I need to learn the sophisticated passing game so I can truly be great in the NFL. And so it's for him, it's when to go, how long to stay, where to read. I know him. He studies. He's a student of the game. He wants it to be so. Another new offense for him. I don't know what else to say other than protection sucked. He was. Obviously is not connected with Ekstrand and what they're trying to do offensively. To have that kind of historically nightmare. I mean, I've had some nightmare games. I was in a blizzard once. I was there's times when you're I remember in the second quarter when it was just terrible. I was like, look, just someone come in front of me and I'll shovel you a ball so I can complete it. You know what I mean? There's been bad moments, but this is now the middle of October. This is why it feels I'm kind of, I don't know, speechless.
I don't blame you. It was a speechless performance. I mean, again, minus 10 net passing yards, Steve. I think I could do that.
Yeah, it was. That feels like it had to be in a blizzard, right? That there's only way that happens is if there's something terrible happening and you can't, some horrific. Rainstorm. I mean, I don't know. There's no way that happens in a clear day on a nice field. There's just no way. And so that's why it's inexplicable. I think we got to throw it in the garbage heap and just, I mean, I know we should try to decipher it, but I believe, look, what the Detroit Lions have been doing is super interesting to me. It's innovative in a kind of a unique, different way. And I think they're trying to do that kind of stuff, and it's new, and they need protection to do it. That's what the Lions have, great protection. So until that happens, and I'm a believer. I don't know. I guess I'm a believer in Justin, and I'm going to leave it at that. I wish I could get on the radio and say something important, but it's just freaking nightmare. I don't know what even. I mean, they're going to have to dig their way out of it. And it's I guess the point is, Michael, it's everybody. And honestly, I really need Woody to take it in himself too. Like what am I, it needs to, the equity owner needs to really dig deep as well. It's not just something's happening that needs to, the vulnerability to say to yourself, what am I doing wrong? What's happening here? It has to go, because this is just, Aaron's we know about Aaron. I mean, he's a good dude, and he's like, we need to come together. I don't know what to say.
So, no, I'm you know how I respect your football knowledge and just knowledge in general, but you seem like you see something positive in Justin Fields. He failed in Chicago. He essentially failed in Pittsburgh. He looked like he was afraid to throw the ball yesterday. Steve, can you articulate what you're seeing in him that gives you hope?
Yeah, it bugs me. I mean, but I guess in speaking to him and knowing his, like, I've watched his talent. I've watched his ability. I watched his mind. And so it's like, I feel like the elements are there. And there's no question you need a lot of help in the NFL. Every quarterback it needs tons of help. And when you don't get it, I think that there's some reaction when things are not going well that devolves, and that's on him. In other words, one of the best qualities that I see in really good players is that they can stop the bleeding. Mm-hmm. Like every quarterback bleeds, right? I'm just talking metaphorically here. And things are going haywire and stuff's going crazy. You're throwing a couple interceptions. You can't complete a pass. Like, I can stop the bleeding. I might not be able to really flourish in this moment, but I know I can stop the bleeding. And that's the problem. To your point, Michael, the thing that I would say to Justin is, like, you have got to be able to fundamentally do the things that, basics to stop the bleeding. Yesterday felt like it was just a hemorrhage that couldn't cauterize, like, in the court, and that's on the quarter. I want to put it on the coach. I want to put it on the offensive line. I want to put it on but at some level it's on the quarterback. And I think he's got to own that.
All right, so something that has to be on the coach, and I'm not a guy, Steve. I've never been that way to pile on coaches, but I'm watching the end of the half, the second quarter, and I'm just befuddled. I'm flabbergasted by what Aaron Glenn is doing, and then you hear even after the game, Sean Payton couldn't believe what was happening. Were you processing what was happening there? What was he trying to do?
I felt like he's overthinking it. Like there is a slope to those moments. Like when you're a new coach and you're in these kind of moments and your mind is racing as well. I don't. It's like you and I and Sean can say to ourselves, because Sean's been around a long time, right? So these moments he's very present for. And his mind isn't racing. It's like the same thing as to me, it's the same thing as a quarterback whose mind is racing and he's not seeing the field. And you ask him, what did you see on the, many times a quarterback come off the field and go, what did you see? And I know he's lying because he wasn't seeing anything. His mind was racing so fast that he wasn't processing. And I'm sure that happens at times to coaches in those moments in the time management, all that stuff. So, I mean, when Sean Payton says, what are you doing? Right. Well, that's the same thing. Like, and that's why Aaron Glenn's like, what are you going to say? Like, I was my mind racing and I couldn't process. No one's going to say that, But it's the same kind of thing that happens on the field of quarterback.
All right, so two coaches had the same decision to make. Aaron Glenn had the decision keeping Aaron Rodgers or getting Justin Fields. He decided, I want Justin Fields. Mike Tomlin could have kept Justin Fields. He wanted Aaron Rodgers. My question to you, and maybe it's an unfair question, Steve, the Jets with Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Glenn, would they be 0-6 or would they have a much better record?
You'd have to look. The decision is really easy. Experience, right? Somebody who, if Aaron Rodgers is healthy and can move around decently for a 40-year-old man and still has his arm, that's the key. Because Peyton lost his arm, Drew Brees lost his arm. Like that's why they had to leave the game. If he's still got his arm, he has a wealth of experience and all of it. So it's not, and Justin's just developing. He's trying to figure out how to, deal with his own talent. Like he's a developing project. Like that's just a fact, and that's huge risk. There's no question about that. And so for that decision, it really, if Aaron can, and he obviously can, and he obviously knew he could, and that goes to the Jets' decision making and goes all the way to the equity owner too. Like that's Woody and trying to figure out who we are and what we're going to be about, and trying to see through some of the noise, even the noise from Aaron, right?
Right.
Because you got to manage people, you got to manage unique personalities, you got to be able to deal with things, in some ways. If you keep not managing the people, you can't blame you can't blame the quarterback, you can't blame the coach. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over and blaming other people. Can't do it.
All right, before we let you go, this is the first time we've spoken to you since the Thursday night game where the Giants shocked the world by beating the Eagles. Dart looked good. Scatterboo looked good with the 98 yards, 19 carries. Steve, was that just a blip where, okay, the Giants shocked the world, or could that actually be a turnaround for this franchise?
No,
and this is quarterback the real deal.
Brian Daboll's saying to himself, I knew I could do it. I know I'm great. I'm a great coach. Like everybody needs each other. And what's really fun about this is the early green shoots of something that could be pretty cool. Is like, it's almost like maybe a Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith coming into the league together, or like, is it possible? Like, wouldn't that be cool if, and that's the excitement. You don't want to get, it's not an anomaly. We know it's 2 out of 3 weeks, and that's pretty amazing for young players and what they're doing and the difference they can make in an NFL football game. So, look, it could fall on its face, but it won't keep falling on its face. Like it's these two guys seem like early returns they're going to, be forces in the league, and I think that Brian's probably like, well, finally, I got something. Mm-hmm. So it's exciting to think about. I don't blame Giant fans to kind of like wait it out, to make sure. But it felt not just a lightning strike. It felt like something that could be repeated.
All right, so I have one little fear, and you've lived this. It looks like he's got a timeshare in the blue tent. Is he going to get hurt running as much as he does and not giving up and sliding?
Okay. First of all, that's the game today is Justin Herbert's got to attack the line of scrimmage. Everyone has to learn to attack the line of scrimmage. It's too many free yards. You have to do it, and especially in the big games. So the fact that Jackson can do that is super important, and he's got to keep doing it. Now, as you learn, and I remember I talked about Emmitt Smith. He had a great quote like, "Know when the journey is over. Know exactly what you're trying to do, and when you have to preserve, you have to stay healthy. This team needs you. You have to be mature. You have to develop that maturity really fast." And so how do I do that? I'm not actually, if it's a first down, I'm not going to stretch and try to spin and do something stupid or take on a linebacker. If it's a touchdown, I'm willing to do more, but it's all those judgments. It's being and figuring out how to go down to the ground, not necessarily sliding. I think sliding can get you killed sometimes. So you got to figure out how to get to the ground going forward, head first, kind of sideways. And that's just all experience. And I think the hard part is when you're young and you really want to prove yourself, you really want to help win. Like you just have this earnestness, right? This dedication to the game and my teammates. I want them to know that I'm willing to put myself at risk. I'm willing to sacrifice. I'm willing to do anything I can for them and for myself. That's when you get into trouble because you're overdoing it. And so your fear, Michael, is everyone's fear, but it's football. And it's the football of 2025 where quarterbacks have to attack the line of scrimmage or at least threaten it. So we have to live with this risk. It's not going to go away, but can we mitigate it and make it smart? Yes, and that's what he needs to do.
I'm fascinated when I listen to you because the things that the quarterback has on his plate, right? I mean, you look at pitching and catching, and if you're a point guard, I would think that playing quarterback has to be the single hardest thing to do in professional sports. I mean, there's so much that you have to do and process. It's amazing. I don't know how a human being can do it.
I love you because I don't want to look. Every quarterback would love you to say that every day, right? It's like if you know, because and then the thing is how much you need help to even do those things,
right?
Like I might be the best in the world at it, but I don't have enough help to even show you that I can do it. So it's even more dynamic than you even imagine. And so yeah, Michael, I think especially in today's game, you think about Tom and Peyton. What is amazing about those two guys is they did everything from one spot. Essentially, they moved in the pocket really effectively, but they weren't going anywhere. And because of that, it was pure every week to what the offense needs to do, the linemen, what I'm going to do, what the receivers need to understand. Like that ball's going to come out, and we're going to figure it out together. And I tip my cap to those two guys to be able to do it. Dan Marino from one spot, essentially. I mean, I can't imagine. But yet, there's clarity and simplicity in the movement in that part of it. In today's game, the complexity is when do I go? When do I give up? When do I make sure that I get the most out of the play? When do I let it rip with great, with some risk when I can go make those yards myself? And there's a whole new dynamic that makes it more complex and more difficult to figure out. And then I go to attack the line of scrimmage with my eyes got to be up because I got opportunity. And when do I, it's like it's never ending in the challenge. And I think that's why I miss it. You just described why it's hard to leave it. Because there's nothing else in life that you have to pour yourself into and that is that difficult. Like it's super cool to get pretty good at something that is that kind of complex and then handling the media, your teammates, you get paid 10 times more. You're always in the paper and then you have the jealousy, natural jealousy of the other teammates. And like, that's the office. That's in the locker room. That's not even on the field. So to me, quarterback is an amazing, cool thing, and that's why guys miss it.
Now I'm 2 days late, but before I let you go, happy birthday, my friend. We're both the same age now. I hope you had a great day on Saturday.
Attaboy, you and me, but we're in it together.
Did you do anything fun, or you just happy birthday? No,
we had a school. We had an auction benefit for the school, and it was an Indian-themed Bollywood party, and I got to send you the picture. It was my wife and I got dressed up. It was fun. We had a good time. It was great.
You deserve it. Have a happy birthday and a great year around the sun again.
Thanks. You and me both. That's great, Michael. Thank you, buddy.
You got it. That's Steve Young. Love talking with him. He's so great. I mean, think about it. Think about everything that a quarterback has to process. And then think about all the minds that he's going against on the defensive side just to stop him. And then you put the physical aspect. And then you put the aspect of your offensive line has to work and your receivers have to catch the ball and your coach has to be good. There's so many things, and you have to almost be a sports genius to make this work, to process all of that in seconds. The defense is going to blitz. No, they're going to go back in the coverage. I mean, everything that you have to do and everything that you have to think of. I can't think of another position in another sport that has that much responsibility. And then if you don't do it well, you could really get hurt too. Amazing. We'll be back.
Ballybet Sportsbook. Yo, Ballybet stacked for football season. When it comes to sportsbook apps, it's undefeated. Ballybet. Check out that brand new parlay zone. Here's the kickoff. Build your bets and place them right on your phone. What? Live bets, daily boosts, and promos. Increase your odds so you can win more dough. Touchdown! Ballybet's the play. Make game day more fun and download it today. Must be 21 plus, New York only. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Ballybet Sportsbook and Casino.
Download it.
1 in every 6 men is likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime.
That's why New York Presbyterian wants to remind men over 50 to book a prostate cancer screening. A simple blood test is all it takes. It could save your life. Screenings are available across New York City and Westchester at locations near you. Schedule your annual prostate cancer screening today at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
Honey, this is it. Shot clock winding down. Trailing by 2.
When you can't miss the last shot, and neither can he, don't take slow for an answer.
Pastrello shoots. Did you see it, Carl?
Switch to Optimum Fiber, the fastest and most reliable fiber internet, starting at just $40 a month. Call 888-4OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today.
What went through your head on the last shot?
It all happened so fast. Optimum. Don't take slow for an answer. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
John Ryan.
Yeah, Dad.
I think I came up with a killer slogan for our law firm. D'Agostino & Associates, bite back.
Bite back?
Yeah. When someone hurts you, you bite back. We'll be the law firm that bites back.
Dad, that's brilliant. Accident victims, call D'Agostino & Associates and bite back. Hey, we could even put a big vicious dog on billboards everywhere.
Yeah, and Rottweilers on buses.
Hey, how about a toll-free number?
What are you thinking?
You know, like 1-800-BITE-BACK.
1-800-BITE-BACK. That's brilliant.
But what if people hear fight back?
Easy. I'll spell it out for them, like 1-800-BITE. Back. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
Love it. Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
All this talk about biting back got me hungry.
Me too. Want to grab lunch?
Sure. Hey, how about a jingle?
You mean like D'Agostino, law, bite back?
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-5 2.5 S Select for $229 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. VIN S0595731. MSRP $31,915. Zero security deposit. Ends 10/31/25.
Dave Rothenberg here to tell you about my friends at Bathfitter. Now, they converted my kids' bathtub to a shower and did an incredible, really an unbelievable job. They offer all types of custom bath renovations, including their unique PermaFit solution for a watertight fit done in just one day. Durable and easy to clean with no demo or mess and lower cost than a standard replacement. And a lifetime guarantee. Right now, no money down, no payments, no interest until 2027. So start designing your bath today like we did at bathfitter.com. There's only one Bathfitter.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text FORCE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text FORCE to 42424. That's FORCE to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
In the city that never sleeps and never stops talking sports, ESPN New York is always on. Now you can live and breathe everything New York sports wherever you are. On your radio dial, on the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on YouTube. However you watch or listen, ESPN New York is always on for you. Hear us, stream us, watch us. This is ESPN New York.
Hey, Game Time brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. The Islanders currently hosting the Jets at UBS Arena, and the Jets lead 2-0. Yes, a Jet team that's actually leading. Jets lead 2-0 over the Isles. 5 p.m., ALCS Game 2 in Toronto between the Blue Jays and Mariners. Coverage on 1050 ESPN. That'll be at 4:30 p.m. 7 p.m., the Devils are in Columbus to play the Blue Jackets. Don LaGreca on the call. 8 p.m., NLCS Game 1 in Milwaukee between the Dodgers and the Brewers. Coverage right here on ESPN New York at 7:30 p.m. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. 1-800-919-3776. That's the number. The Tennessee Titans have fired their head coach, Brian Callahan, according to Adam Schefter. Please explain it to me. I need it explained to me. I needed it last year explained to me. How could you go into a season with a coach and then after 5 games say, nope, got to get rid of him? How? How's that possible? How did the Jets fire Robert Saleh last year? And it's not like they brought in Bill Belichick. They brought in Jeff Ulbrich. So the Titans have a young quarterback, and now you just got rid of the head coach after 5 or 6 games. It's unbelievable. That is the ineptitude of certain ownership groups and front offices. I'm sorry, that's what it is. You cannot give up on a coach after 5 or 6 games when you believe that he was the coach coming into the season. And if you had that little faith in him as the coach, then why wouldn't you fire him at the beginning of the year and let somebody actually do this? So you're going to pull the plug. Think about it. You're pulling the plug with 11 games left in the season. Idiocy, and none of it makes sense. If the Jets had so little faith in Robert Saleh last year, why start the season with him? Why? Why wouldn't you get started with a new coach right away? So essentially, you're burning the 2025 season when you do that, if you're the Titans. I'm telling you, moronic is what it is. They go 1-5, and you're going to fire him. Why? How much did you expect of the Titans? How good did you think they were going to be? And it's not like Callahan's been there forever. Now, if the Dolphins pull the plug on why am I blanking on his McDaniel? If they pull a plug on him, he's been there a while. It's not working. And then you got Tua Tagovailoa coming out and saying people are late to meetings, veterans are late to meetings, and he's kind of criticizing the coaching staff. That you kind of get. Because you gave him a long run. And you can say, well, you gave Saleh a long run, but you had a quarterback that you didn't have the year before, and he's working back, and this is what you do. So Brian Callahan gets 1 year and 6 games. That is organizational malfeasance. Lunacy is what it is. James in Nashville. James.
Hey, Michael, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, James?
Not too good. I'm a Jets fan in Nashville, so I got the worst of both worlds.
Yeah, that's not great.
So, real quick, Aaron Glenn, I'm out. He needs to be fired, and here's why. Halftime, just letting the clock run out so they can, in his own words, get to the locker room and take the ball back when they come back at third quarter.
Awful.
That's ridiculous.
Yep.
And then the end of the game, it's, 2nd and 15, I believe, after the sack.
Right.
Why let him throw the ball anymore? Why not just run the ball with Brees for a couple yards to put, Folk in a little bit of better position? And then to not kick a 62-yard field goal, which is basically a chip shot this year, that's just egregious.
Well, it's a chip shot for the young kickers. It's not a chip shot for Falk. But I would agree with you, and I'm glad you brought that up because that was one of the things I wrote down and wanted to talk to. Their play that they had on the final play of the game, what's worse, their play or trying a 62-yard field goal? And then to say, well, Falk, only had distance from 53 or 54. Maybe the enormity of the moment, maybe the adrenaline of the moment gives them another 7 yards. That was your best chance because the play that you came up with was trash. I'd rather have the kicker try a 62-yard field goal. Now, it's not Aubrey. I understand that. But give him a chance. Everything about that game was discouraging to a Jet fan. Everything about that game. The quarterback play, the coaching was ineptitude at its best. And I thought Steve Young put it best. I think The game's moving too quickly for Aaron Glenn. There's nothing like moving over that one seat. Nothing. The defensive coordinator has one job. The head coach has thousands of jobs. There's so many voices in that headphone, and you've got to come up with a play. You've got to come up with when I call a timeout, whether to go for it or not. I don't think he's ready yet. I disagree with the caller. I wouldn't get rid of him after 6 games, but I just don't think he's ready yet. We're ready for hour 2 of the show. Stick around, the K Show, right here on ESPN New York.
Hey, this is Mika Zibanejad.
Hey, this is Adam Fox. Catch every Rangers game right here on 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Did you know women account for 2/3 of all Americans living with Alzheimer's and 2/3 of all Alzheimer's family caregivers? Join the Alzheimer's Foundation of America at its Women Empowerment Forum on November 5th in Amityville to learn practical ways women can reduce their risk for Alzheimer's and enhance quality of life for themselves and their loved ones living with Alzheimer's. For more information or to register, visit alzfdn.org or call 866-232-8484.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Just printed from the Erie Canal Press, the most coveted ticket, New York Lottery's $1 million raffle, hath arrived. 15 fortunate souls shall come into the fortune of a millionaire.
Translation, the $1 million raffle is here, and 15 winners are going to become millionaires. The New York Lottery commemorates 200 years of the Erie Canal with your best odds of winning $1 million. Limited tickets available. Ask your local retailer today. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Health surprises can change your life in an instant. You've seen it happen to others, but it doesn't have to be your story. At Princeton Longevity Center, we customize actionable and proactive health plans to maximize your lifespan and take control of your health. Our Cancer Check program combines cutting-edge technology with top medical expertise to keep you ahead of potential risks. With advanced full-body imaging, genetic testing, and multi-cancer detection blood tests, we look for even the earliest signs of problems. Results are analyzed by expert physicians who craft a personalized plan to safeguard your future. You're not just a patient, you're a partner in your health journey, backed by a team committed to helping you live longer, healthier, and more vibrantly. Our programs have saved hundreds of lives and empowered countless others to take control of their health. Be proactive with your health for the ultimate peace of mind. Call 888-8000-PLC or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com.
Dave Rothenberg here to tell you about my friends at Bath Fitter. Now, they converted my kids' bathtub to a shower and did an incredible, really an unbelievable job. They offer all types of custom bath renovations, including their unique PermaFit solution for a watertight fit done in just one day. Durable and easy to clean with no demo or mess and lower cost than a standard replacement. And a lifetime guarantee. Right now, no money down, no payments, no interest until 2027. So start designing your bath today like we did at bathfitter.com. There's only one Bath Fitter.
They say a full marathon is the ultimate test. For me, it's more than a race. It's a milestone I once thought impossible. Michelle Smallman here, and I'm running my very first marathon in New York City with the support of Gainbridge and Gainbridge Assist powered by Parity. Together, we're empowering girls and women through sports and education. With grants to 32 organizations in 21 states. Every step I take is for the finish line and for the next generation chasing their dreams. Here's to 26.2 miles and a future with no limits.
Hey, it's Kirk Herbstreit. On game day, great prep makes all the difference. Same goes for your pizza. That's why I go with Frigidaire's Stone-Baked Pizza Oven. Fresh pizzas go from dough to done in just 2 minutes.
Whether you're throwing a party or squeezing in dinner between plays, this oven delivers hot, crispy, restaurant-quality pizza right from your kitchen. Only from Frigidaire. Game-ready pizza. Get it today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Welcome back to the Michael K. Show, Hour 2 of our 2-hour radio extravaganza, every Monday through Friday from 1 to 3. Love that you're all part of it. Love that you're receptive to it. And now, for those of you that are actually tuning in on our YouTube channel, I'm trying something out. I think I'm growing the beard back. I don't think Jody's high on it, but I know my 2 kids liked it. Remember when I lost the bet and I had to grow a beard and then have the Pusick? Well, this time I think I'm going full beard. So you're seeing about 5 days in right now. So I stopped shaving after the Yankees lost that game 4, and this is what it is about 5 days in. So I figure another week we're gonna have a pretty significant beard working. So on the comments by the YouTube channel, tell me what you think. I mean, I think it makes me look a little older, which is not something that I'm looking for, but it's also nice not to have to shave every day. Not that that's the worst thing in the world, but send me your thoughts. 1-800-919-3776. You can comment on the YouTube page. And if you want to watch on YouTube, it's so easy. ESPN New York app, easy, right? You call up the app, then there's a tile there that says YouTube channel. You just subscribe to it. It's absolutely free. So you can enjoy the visual along with the audio. Here for you. You can do the morning show, Rick and Dave. You could do Bart and Carlin. You could do me. You could do Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. It's another feature that we're sending your way. So I thought it was interesting what Steve Young said about Aaron Glenn, where at the end of the second quarter yesterday, things were moving too fast. And you hear that about young quarterbacks as well. Remember when I think it was Sam Darnold or Zach Wilson. I think it was Sam Darnold who sat there on the sidelines. They were playing the Patriots and said, I'm seeing ghosts out there. Because everything is moving so fast, you're not able to process it. But when you're the head coach of a team, you would think that that's not going to happen to you. But it had to be happening to Glenn because there's no other viable reason for him to do what he did or didn't do at the end of the second quarter. And I'll just give you one small example in my life when I was young. So in my sophomore year of college, or my junior year of college, I was the assistant sports director at WFUV. So the sports director was the one who had final say and made all the decisions, and it never got to me. I didn't have to make that final call. Then the next year, my senior year at Fordham, I became the sports director of the radio station. And all of a sudden, all the stuff that I could push off to the sports director now was on me. And I know that's a minuscule part of what we're talking about with an NFL coach, but that one seat over is such a huge deal. Like, stuff would come at me so fast. I go, oh, yeah, because your decision is the final decision. There's nobody to put it off to. When I was the assistant sports director, which would be like the defensive or offensive coordinator, I'd have to worry about the final decision. I could just push it over to Joe. Now, when I was the one calling the shots, it was a completely different feel. The pressure was enormous. The responsibility was enormous. Now, you're in charge of an entire staff of people. So on our sports staff at WFUV at that time, there must have been 35 people. And I'm a 20-year-old kid at the beginning of my senior year. And you had to make the decisions on who was going on road trips, who's going to be assigned to games, who's going to be the engineer, who's going to pay for the lines on the road, stuff like that. And it seems like so insignificant now. But whenever you take that move to the next seat, the top seat, some have it and some don't. And the Jets better pray to the football gods that Aaron Glenn's going to get it. Because I've said this over and over and over again. Just because you're a good bench coach, just because you're a good offensive coordinator, a great defensive coordinator, doesn't mean that you're going to be good in that seat. Robert Saleh is a great defensive coordinator. Was he great in the big seat? No. It's a completely different level of responsibility. And therein lies the biggest risk when you sign a young neophyte. Not that Aaron Glenn's young, but a neophyte at that job. Never had a head coaching job before. Can he handle it? 6 games in, the answer would be he's not handling it yet. Doesn't mean that he won't handle it forever, but 6 games in, it's been an epic fail. And if you want the definition of epic fail, watch the final 2.5 minutes of the second quarter yesterday. That was a coach that was lost. That was a coach who had no idea, and there's nobody to turn to. There's nobody else above you. You got people that are supposed to help you in those decisions, people that manage clock. You got the offensive, defensive coordinator, but it all comes down to you. It's a lot of responsibility. Sometimes it's better to hire the guy who failed in his first job than to hire the guy for his first job. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Washington decided not to go with a young head coach, with a young quarterback. They brought in Dan Quinn, who was leading 28-3 in the Super Bowl and lost with the Falcons. This was his second job. Sometimes you're better at the second job because you have a whiff of what it's like. And the Jets yesterday looked like a team that had no clue. They're not coached well. They continue to make mistakes. And then for the head coach to come out and say, well, what kind of question is that? And then today to say, I think he's been good, for his 5 games, which is not true. He hasn't been good. Why would I bench somebody after one bad game? Well, you released Xavier Gibson after one egregious mistake in the first game. So different rules, I understand that. Jordan rules, I understand that too. Quarterback gets a little bit more, latitude, whatever. But when the team is this bad, the rules shouldn't be that different for different players. And I know Gibson was one of the last guys to make the team, and you're building around Justin Fields. But here's the fear. Right now, it looks like Aaron Glenn's overmatched. Right now. I'm not saying that's going to be the case forever, but it looks like he's overmatched. And if he's overmatched, he's the guy who chose Justin Fields. So what makes you think that a defensive coordinator would have a real good idea of what was going to happen and who was going to be good enough at quarterback? That should be your biggest concern as a Jet fan right now. Let's go to Vinny in Staten Island. Vinny.
Michael, how are you?
I'm good, Vin. How you doing?
All right, pal. Until the Jets get a competent head coach, competent offensive coordinator, a competent scheme, doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Jet fans in the media are doing it again. They're going to destroy Justin Fields. Justin Fields can play this game. He played for Ohio State. He was 4-2 for Pittsburgh last year. And Tomlin came back to Wilson because they were paying Wilson a lot of money. Justin Fields would have did a lot better than Russell Wilson last year. You got to fit his skill set. There's no read and react run plays. They're not fitting his skill set. They're not giving him easy throws. If he was playing for Mike Shanahan or Sean Payton right now, he'd be doing great. Just like Mac Jones is, just like Bo Nix is, just like Sam Darnold is. It's just Aaron Glenn is just he's worse than Nathaniel Hackett was in Denver. You got to get a good coach in here. You got to get somebody who knows what they're doing. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Vinny, I essentially agree with everything that you just said, except it didn't matter to Pittsburgh that Russell Wilson was making a lot of money. It was a one-year deal. Didn't matter. They wanted to win in the playoffs. They couldn't score the last 5 games of the year, and they still didn't go to Justin Fields. And you can't say he's a really good quarterback. He failed in Pittsburgh, although he's 4-2, but they never put him back on the field, and he failed miserably as a top draft pick in Chicago. Failed. The part I do agree with you wholeheartedly, there are graveyards for quarterbacks. There are. They're just graveyards for quarterbacks. And then there are places that reinvigorate a quarterback. I mean, just look at the job that Mac Jones is doing. Just look at the job Sam Darnold's doing in Seattle after he got a tutorial under a great offensive-minded coach in Minnesota. Look at what Daniel Jones is doing on the strike in Indianapolis. The one quarterback that has not been reinvigorated or resurrected is Wilson. He hasn't had a chance yet. McDaniels, an offensive guru, supposedly. You're right. But they tried the offensive guru stuff with Gase, and he wasn't an offensive guru. He was terrible. Then they go to a defensive coach in Saleh, and then they come back with a defensive coach again in Aaron Glenn. There are graveyards for quarterbacks, and it seems like the Jets are a graveyard for quarterbacks. Until you have a genius offensive mind, a Sean McVay, a Shanahan, an Andy Reid, it's going to be a place where quarterbacks go to have their careers die. This does not look like a place that is inviting for a quarterback to take the next step. And boy, Vinny just brought up a name that scares me. Hackett looked lost when he had a head coaching job. Lost. I hope that's not the case with Aaron Glenn. I don't want to make that snap of a judgment. I don't. But yesterday was a bad look. And then all the penalties are a bad look. When you ran, your stump speech was discipline. We're going to get rid of the penalties. They got rid of nothing. And then when you can't run a simple set of downs at the end of the second quarter where you're embarrassing. It was embarrassing. All of the NFL was looking because it was the lone game that was going on at that time. Everybody was watching that and scratching their heads and going, what just happened here? Steve Young said it perfectly. If you missed it at 1:30, the game moved too fast at that time for Aaron Glenn. It better slow down because the season is already shot. They're not making the playoffs. Now they have to avoid an utter embarrassment. And this is the guy that Woody had to have. They did extensive interviews, running a lot of people. This was the guy. And Aaron Glenn said this was his dream job. I hope it works out. 6 games in, it doesn't look good. Steve in Jersey. Steve.
I got to go in, too.
Hello, Steve.
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
Good. What's up, man?
Steve, hey, look, I feel like wearing a bag over my head again. Remember them days?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
and Glenn keeps saying it's not the same old Jets, and it is the same old Jets.
Absolutely, and I'm sorry to say, I'm a fan all my life. I'm 64 years old, and it's just terrible. And you're ruining another good quarterback. You have no offensive line whatsoever. I don't care if you put the best quarterback in the league there, he's going to get crushed. I don't get it. I don't understand. I'm embarrassed.
No, I don't blame you, again, but the one thing that I disagree with the last several calls, why is Justin Fields a good quarterback? When has he ever proved that he's a good quarterback? He's got good quarterback skills. He can run. You would think he'd be pretty good at RPOs, but he doesn't throw the ball. So you're ruining one of the best weapons you have, if not the best weapon you have in Garrett Wilson, who's sitting in an MRI tube somewhere right now to see what's wrong with his knee. 3 catches, 13 yards. You've neutered your weapon. It's like you have a bomb there and you don't have the fuse to start it. He can't throw the ball. He cannot get rid of the ball. You can't get sacked 9 times. It's ridiculous to get sacked 9 times. And I don't think it was all on the offensive line. Do they have a great offensive line? No. Is it that bad that it would be 9 sacks? No, a lot of that was on Justin Wilson. So a couple of people have called in and said, Justin Wilson a good quarterback. Is he? What has he done to prove that he's a good quarterback? Did he prove that in Chicago? After 4-2, he couldn't get back in the lineup in Pittsburgh. And then when it came down to at the end, a previous caller said, well, they stayed with Russell Wilson because he made the most money. Okay, Russell Wilson was out. They had a choice between Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers. Same choice the Jets had, although the Jets had Aaron Rodgers under contract. The Jets said, I need Justin Fields. And the Steelers go, I want Aaron Rodgers. The Steelers are a well-run organization. They haven't won a Super Bowl in a long time, but they keep getting to the playoffs. They're always over 500. They're never going to have an embarrassing train wreck of a season like the Jets have been having year after year after year. And Woody is somewhat mercurial, everybody. I think it would be very unwise to pull the plug on this so early. But what are you hanging your hat on with this group right now? What are you hanging your hat on? What have you seen that makes you feel good about things? David in the Bronx. David.
Can you hold?
Yeah, what's up, David? So David wants me to hold.
Hold, Mike.
All right, bye, David. Thank you so much. Listen, here would be my and thank you for your phone call. Here would be my little bit of information, if I can give you. And I say this with peace and love. If you're at work and you've got a lot of stuff happening, and you're Aaron Glenn, should I do an onside kick? Should I do a fake punt? Then that's not the time to call in. It's just not. I love that you want to be involved. I do. I really do. But if there's other things that you're juggling, probably not the time to call in and derail a show. Drew in Brooklyn. Drew.
Hi, Michael.
Hey, Drew.
I don't know who these people are that think that Justin Fields is a good quarterback.
Yeah, I'm kind of befuddled myself, Drew.
If you watch the game, he was missing open receivers because he couldn't process they were open.
Yep.
They were running across the field, right and left, and he wouldn't throw the ball. He just kept holding it, and that's how he got sacked 9 times.
Drew, I agree with you. I don't see the great quarterback. I don't see it.
We're looking at a disaster here. Aaron Glenn seems way over his head, and I'm really sorry about that because I loved him as a Jet, but he seems over his head, and the GM did not do a good job in getting us Justin Fields.
Well, I don't think I would blame the GM, Drew, because I think that Aaron Glenn's above the GM. Aaron Glenn signed off on Muji. Aaron Glenn, I think, is making the calls. Muji is working under Aaron Glenn. So Aaron Glenn's the one who said, yeah, Justin Fields, that's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. And, sometimes you could almost read a situation from the look on somebody's face. And at the end of the second quarter, he looked lost. He had that lost look in his eyes. And he had it at the end of the game, too. Like, what do I do? Everything is crumbling around me. What do I do? And he does seem like a great guy. And the one thing that I didn't like at the beginning, he came in with a cockiness, like he'd been there and done that, like he had all the answers. And I guess leaders have to sell that. But when it shows you don't have the answers, then what's left to sell? After you lose the first 6 games and you lose a game in such ignominious fashion yesterday, how are you going back into that room today and selling them on your program? Your program's not working. Your program is not working. In fact, it's failing spectacularly. Your program is not working. So it's kind of hard to lean on that. And you have nothing that you could flex. Oh, yeah, this is working. Nothing's working. I give you a little credit because the defense, I thought, did well. I think the Broncos were kind of lulled to sleep. After a big win against Philadelphia, they come, to England, and they play in the London game, and I think they were asleep. Bo Nix didn't look good. Nobody in the offensive side looked good. But their defense looked good because defense travels. Sometimes offense doesn't. And the Jet defense traveled. They actually played very well, I thought. The Jet offense didn't show up. And right now, I don't throw around words like this. I'm not in the hyperbolic business, but they're embarrassing. Their offense is an embarrassment. You got a really good running back in Breece Hall. You got an outstanding wide receiver in Garrett Wilson. You can't utilize either of them. You got a good young tight end, and you can't utilize them. Now, one game that it looked like maybe this guy is the answer at quarterback, and I think that was game 2, and it's gone away. It's been a regression where he looked lost yesterday. I felt sorry for the guy, and he seems like a good guy. And as Steve Young said, he buries his head in the books. He's studying all the time. He wants to be great. A lot of people want to be great at something, and they don't have the ability to be great. I hope that he does. I hope the early returns are misleading, both on Glenn and on Fields. But if you're a Jet fan right now, is there anything to feel good about? You're more than welcome to call in and tell me something that I should feel good about. 1-800-919-3776. I do want to remind everybody, we have a doubleheader tonight on Monday Night Football. All right, it starts with 5 p.m. Monday Night Countdown. 7:15, the Bills and the Falcons in Atlanta. That's on ESPN. 8:15, the Bears and the Commanders in Washington. That's on ABC 7. And 11:30 p.m., SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt following the game. So, got you laid out right there. We have the two playoff games. So, the National League Championship Series, Brewers and Dodgers, starts tonight. Game 2 of the ALCS, Milwaukee against Toronto. Seattle against Toronto. Seattle won the first game 3-1, so this will be game 2. And obviously there's a Final Four now in baseball as they head to the World Series. A lot of stuff going on. We'll continue to take your phone calls. A lot of stuff working around football as well. We'll get to all of it, leading you right into Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. That's at 3 o'clock right here on ESPN New York.
Monday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. The Jets are now 0-6 on the season with a loss in London. How long will they stick with Justin Fields? Can it get any worse?
The reason why we didn't win this game offensively is just because we couldn't consistently throw it. Do we have a better option that can come in and actually throw a football? Yes, we do. Why not use it?
Because to him, that's a ridiculous question.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Every aspect of your business will operate better and faster with artificial intelligence. AI is a race, and companies that act first will win. Thrive Managed AI is your advantage over all your competitors. Thrive partners with you on a smart, secure AI strategy for your business. Then they deploy and manage it for you. Be first and win the race with Thrive Managed AI. Start with a complimentary strategy consultation at thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN.
You know so much about who you are. But do you know what makes your body your body? With over 100 lab tests and insights, Function can help you know the truth. Because you know you're made of grit, wit, and a good heart. But just how healthy is that heart? You know you're made up of all the places you've called home. You know you're made of your mom's sarcasm. And now you can find out if you have her thyroid too. You know you're made of college all-nighters and 30s early-nighters, but those still don't explain your sleep issues. You know that you're made up of good meals with even better conversation. But are you actually absorbing those nutrients? A Function membership gives you a comprehensive health check with results tracked over time. Find out what you're made of at functionhealth.com.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. Let me tell you about my friends at Bathfitter. They remodeled the bath by my pool. They converted a tub into a shower. The result is amazing. Bathfitter offers all types of custom bath renovations, including their unique PermaFit solution for a watertight fit. It's done in one day, easy to clean, and durable with no demo or mess, and it costs less than a standard replacement, plus a lifetime guarantee. Right now, you get no money down, no payments or interest until 2027. So start designing your bath today at bathfitter.com. There's only one Bathfitter.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-30 2.5S all-wheel drive for $159 for 33 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. VIN SM841631, MSRP $26,980, zero security deposit, and 1031.25.
Getting the right mattress helps you sleep at night. Getting the right price helps you sleep even better. At PC Richard & Son, they don't just sell you a mattress. Their experts use a 4-step fitting process to make sure your new bed fits you perfectly. The right fit, the right price, plus free delivery. It's what they do, only at PC Richard & Son. Free delivery on mattresses $199 and up. Excludes Manhattan. See stores for details.
Score a win this game day with Amazon Pickup, the MVP of package pickup.
Need that new football jersey for the big matchup? With Amazon Pickup, you can collect your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule. Whether you're running from work or home or straight to the tailgate, Amazon Pickup makes it easy and worry-free at no extra cost. Don't miss kickoff. Grab your gear and your packages when it works for you. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
Ballybet Sportsbook. Yo, Ballybet stacked for football season. When it comes to sportsbook apps, it's undefeated. Ballybet. Check out that brand new Parlay Zone. Here's the kickoff. Build your bets and place them right on your phone. What? Live bets, daily boosts, and promos. Increase your odds so you can win more dough. Touchdown! Ballybet's the play. Make game day more fun and download it today. Must be 21 plus, New York only. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Ballybet Sportsbook and Casino.
Download it. What is it that makes the all-new Hyundai Palisade hybrid an incredible SUV? Is it the spacious interior that's comfy for the whole crew? Or the capability to go off-road? Maybe it's up to 600-plus miles of range. Is it the driver behind the wheel? What if it's all of that and more? What is it then? The all-new Hyundai Palisade hybrid. So much more than just another SUV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. That's 562-314-4603.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
So the reports are out there that the Giants are being legitimately investigated for Brian Daboll going into the tent when Jackson Dart was being evaluated for concussion and Cam Scadaboo going in as well. Now, you might think it's harmless, but it's not. Those people are supposed to be working independent of the team to see whether or not somebody has a concussion or if there's a serious injury. They can't be influenced by a screaming coach or an emotional player. The fact that Brian Daboll did that, and I'm a Brian Daboll fan, that is a bad look for the Giants. And I was reading today that there could be massive fines involved and for the Giants, a loss of draft picks if they find out, you know what, that was not the right thing to do. And then, I give Prime credit. The game was on Thursday Night Football. They had a camera on Daboll yelling and gesturing at the Giants' team doctor. You can't do that. You're deciding whether or not the player can come back on the field with a concussion or if he doesn't have a concussion. That's a bad look for Daboll. He's been a coach long enough that to me is the game being too fast for him, where he's saying, we got a chance to beat the Eagles here. We got a chance to beat the Super Bowl champion Eagles. I need my quarterback. I don't care if he's hurt. Now, that's probably not exactly what was being said, but he's putting pressure on the doctor who said, I think he's okay. Well, get him out here. I want him out here. You can't do that. You can't pressure the physician. That's what the concussion protocol is all about. They're supposed to work independently. That's why it should never be a team doctor that's evaluating, because, we want to believe that all doctors are pure, Hippocratic oath and all that, but you're getting a paycheck from a team. You don't think there's going to be some tacit pull to make the guy available if you're a little unsure whether or not he's hurt? It should be an independent guy, and I think it is, in that tent evaluating whether or not Jackson Dart has a concussion. That was a bad look for Daboll, a bad look, and it's being investigated. And there could be huge things that come to the forefront. And John Mara is a big part of investigating the preponderance of concussions. This guy is a by-the-book guy. I'm sure he spoke to Brian Daboll about, again, a bad look for Daboll. That's the one negative that came out of that game. You upset the Eagles. Jackson Dart looked great. Scadaboo looked great. You can't be impeding a concussion evaluation. It's a bad look. He does not belong in that tent. There's a rule that tells you he can't go in the tent. And there's a rule that says that a player can't go in the tent. And both of them broke that rule. And you could say, well, you know what, Scadaboo, it's his friend. That I understand more than Daboll going in there. Bad look. I mean, you were so completely afraid of Russell Wilson staying in, you chose him as your starting quarterback. He's the guy you decided to pay $10 million to, and you just couldn't have him in there for 2 plays? Now, it turned out that he was terrible in those 2 plays. Terrible. And I understand why Dable wanted Jackson Dart in there. But sorry, that's not the way to do it. It's just not. Let's go to Donnie in Staten Island. Donnie.
Michael.
Donnie.
How are you, sir?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm good. I honestly, Sunday at 9:30, don't know what I watch, frankly. And between Eisen and Warner, they didn't know what they were watching. I mean,
and Eisen's a big Jet fan too, Donnie. Eisen loves the Jets.
Yeah, he just he's like, get me out, get me back home. It's like it was a massacre. But it goes back to something you said a couple of weeks back that resonates with me. Jets changing the culture. How's it looking? Going into week 7, I just don't know. And it's like, wow, 15 years later, the last time I've seen, well, actually, I think going on 16 years, seeing a playoff berth. Is it time, Woody, let it go? Because frankly, I don't know what you're doing. It gets worse and worse and worse. I'm just lost, Michael.
Well, I understand your frustration. And one thing, Donnie, that I don't even waste time talking about on this show. Owners aren't going to sell. You're not going to make the owner sell. You think that there's such self-evaluation that Woody goes, I'm probably the problem? Not going to sell. His sons want to take over the program. They want to take over the team. This is a toy for these men. Nobody's going to force them to sell. That's why I laugh when you see planes flying, sell the team. They laugh at you. Billionaires laugh at all of us. We're not significant to them. Yeah, we're the customers. But you think that Woody Johnson's going to sell because the team is bad again? It's an incredible embarrassment that a team in the NFL, with all the wild card slots that are available, with all the ebbs and flows that can go where the favorite could, their quarterback could be out for the whole year, that you can't make the playoffs for 16 straight years. And that is under Woody's stewardship. But, is it time for him to sell? No, he's not going to sell. Okay, he gets a chance to have a toy at the age of 72 or 73 and then hand it off to his sons. Let's go to Michael in Holbrook. Michael.
Hey, Michael. How are you?
Good. You?
Good. So 2 things. One, Giant first. Dable's totally out of line with going into the 10th. But the amount of pressure now on him and his lame duck year to perform obviously got to him in that instance.
I think you're right. But he's got to control that.
He needs to win. He needs to win. He's willing to do it at all costs. It's like a guy's neck's on the line, and it showed in that moment. The moment probably got the best of him.
You're probably explaining it perfectly. And again, he's got to battle that, though. He's got to be better than that.
Yeah. Oh, as the leader of men in a room, you have to be better than that in that moment. But obviously, the moment got better than him in that moment. Mm-hmm. And then quickly to go over to the Jets. Woody's never going to sell. For us to think he'll sell is asinine of us. But at some point, we have to hire a head coach with some pedigree. But no one wants to come here with a pedigree because of Woody. And we keep getting these guys they look like deer in headlights when the big moment comes. I think back to Adam Gase. He was one of the last guys we hired with any coaching experience. And that first press conference we had with him, you knew he didn't have it. Right. And I get a similar feeling with Aaron Glenn here. And I wish you had it. He just doesn't have it. The moment's too big.
Well, I mean, again, he doesn't have it at this point. So I would agree with you on that. But his introductory press conference was a triumph compared to Adam Gase's. Because I remember I was there with Don and Peter. We were doing our show there. And Adam Gase, it was a train wreck. The way his eyes darted around the room, that scared look on his face. Now, I don't know if you can't get an established guy. I'm not sure about that. There are only 32 of these jobs. And the one thing about Woody, if you go to the Jets facility in Florham Park, it's a jewel. He's giving you everything that he could give you to be successful. Now, is he an intrusive owner? We don't know. It seems like he is. I mean, when you hear stories that, his sons were, pressuring him about certain things, they play fantasy football. Who knows if that stuff is true? And again, if I'm the owner, I would be involved too. Sorry, I would be. I don't know if I'd be just like Jerry Jones, but I wouldn't sit back and just, count my dollars. I own the team because I want to have fun with it. But if you wanted to get a big-time coach that was out of work, you could have gotten Pete Carroll back rather than go to Vegas. I'm sure if you made a call to Bill Belichick, although he left because he didn't want to be the HC of the NYJ, he might have changed his mind if he had a chance to coach again in the NFL. 32 jobs. You can't be that picky, especially if you're out of work. So I think they try to reinvent the wheel. The Jets try to be the smartest guy in the room. Oh, let's bring in this young, brash guy. He's got it figured out. Oh, you better hope. Adam Gase didn't have it figured out. Robert Saleh didn't have it figured out. At this point, 6 games in, Aaron Glenn doesn't have it figured out. When you hire a veteran coach, though, you have a track record. You know what they can do. And I'm sure that there are some veteran coaches that you could probably get. But again, they want to reinvent the wheel. They want to find their Sean McVay, and they want to find their Shanahan. They do. That's what they're looking for. A coach that could be in place for 20 years. It's hard to find those guys. Your idea of a genius might turn out to be Adam Gase. It might not turn out to be Sean McVay. And it does tell you, I don't think Adam Gase is ever going to get another head coaching job. I think Robert Saleh might. I don't think Adam Gase will. That was such an epic fail. I don't know if it's just in the Jets' DNA. Leon Hess thought that, Rich Kotite was a guy had to have him. They hired Lou Holtz. Couldn't even finish the season. They have continually made mistake after mistake when it comes to head coaches. And then when they get it right, something goes wrong. Looked like they got it right with Rex Ryan, and then it fell apart. Jet fans, the way to root is that Aaron Glenn is just suffering growing pains. That this is not going to be the norm. That he's going to get better. He's going to get more comfortable. He's going to become better as an overall leader, not just of one part of the team. Sometimes it takes a while. So many things going on in sports. We'll get to all of it, including more of your phone calls as we lead you right to Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. You're listening to The K Show every Monday through Friday, 1 to 3, right here on ESPN New York.
Listen up. At Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
D'Agostino Law Bite Back. I'm injury attorney John Ryan D'Agostino, nicknamed The Closer, continuing D'Agostino and Associates' legacy of helping the injured for over 35 years. My father, John D'Agostino, built this injury firm to help accident victims.
This is John D'Agostino, and this is a family firm. For us, it's about doing what's right and making sure somebody pays for your pain. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-BITE-BACK.
They call me The Closer because big or small, in court or out, I'm fighting to get the job done, to win, to get you every dollar you deserve.
D'Agostino and Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and will come to you. I've been there and I'll be there for you. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
Listen up, New York. It's football season, and you should be out there enjoying every play, every tailgate, every moment.
But if you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or sciatica, even getting off the couch can feel like a challenge. That's where Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain comes in. He's one of New Jersey's top pain specialists, Ivy League trained, double board certified, and dedicated to getting you back in the game. Here's the difference. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical, image-guided procedures that get real results. Dr. Shaw treats everything from neck pain, back pain, migraines, nerve pain, and chronic joint pain. And he builds a custom game plan that's right for you. Same day or next day appointments are available with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood. And yes, most major insurances are accepted. So don't let pain keep you on the sidelines this season. Go to SandwellPain.com to call, text, or book online. Relief is closer than you think, and it starts today.
Honey, this is it. Shot clock winding down. Trailing by 2.
When you can't miss the last shot, and neither can he. Don't take slow for an answer.
Pastrello shoots! Good to see it, Charlie.
Switch to Optimum Fiber, the fastest and most reliable fiber internet, starting at just $40 a month. Call 888-4OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today.
What went through your head on the last shot? It all happened so fast.
Optimum. Don't take slow for an answer. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a Pepper thing.
Knicks fans, opening night is a bounce pass away. Join ESPN New York's Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg live from 3 to 6:30 p.m. from Stout on West 33rd between 6th and 7th. Steps from the Garden. Get ready for the start of Knicks basketball.
Runs it off the dribble. He got it and one.
Be there for special guests, live Knicks talk, and opening night vibes before tip-off. We'll see you at Stout on West 33rd. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg live from the Knicks home opener. Don't just listen, don't just watch. Be there.
All right, so the Islanders are down 4-2 heading into the third. That's at UBS Arena. That's against the Jets, not the New York Jets. This Jet team actually scores, so they have 4-2. They lead 4-2. And, I don't think it'll be over by the time we get off the air, but Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg will be able to get you up to snuff. All right, so baseball news. Mike Schilt retires. 2 years left on his contract with the Padres, and he just retired. So it's a little odd. Makes you think, was he forced out? Supposedly he and Preller didn't have the best relationship together. Now, I don't know if the Padres are going to break things up. And that's one thing I said over and over and over again. When Peter Seidler was spending all that money on the Bogarts and the Darvishes and the Machados, and then he was about to sign Soto as well, and I said, that is a great area to live, and it's a great ballpark. I don't know if it can sustain that payroll, and that payroll was being sustained by Peter Seidler's money. He was willing to lose money because he knew he was in ill health and wanted to get a championship before he passed. So he ended up passing away. His relatives now are running the team, and they might want to get rid of all that money. So everybody was lauding them. Oh, so this is the way a team should be run. No, a team should be run so that you can make money and continue to exist and not tear things down. We've seen that happen with the Marlins twice. They won 2 World Series, and then they tore it down because it wasn't sustainable. So the fact that Mike Shildt leaves with 2 guaranteed years left on his contract at $2 million a year, to me, it's a little fishy. Like maybe he knows that they're about to have a little bit of a fire sale, or maybe he just didn't get along with Preller. If they're not going to get rid of their talent, and I don't believe that you could dump the salary of Darvish or Bogarts. I think you could probably trade Machado because he's going to the Hall of Fame. But if they're not going to, that's a really attractive job. Really attractive. Great area to live, a team with a chance to win. Rob Thompson, the Phillies are announcing he's not going anywhere. He will be back for 2026. There was some stories over the weekend that Pete Alonso, who had such a great year with the Mets this year, that he is seeking a 7-year contract. Now, again, that's Scott Boras being Scott Boras, a guy I really like, who's great at what he does, and he's going to put out trial balloons about what he wants. So if Pete Alonso wants a 7-year contract at the age of 31, where he looks like he's probably, other than the scooping that he does, not a long-term first baseman, probably will end up as DH. If I'm the Mets and he says, I want 7 years, I know this is going to hurt Met fans, but I say thank you for your service, Pete. We're not giving you 7 years. We're not. As great as you were, I'll spend that money somewhere else. I'd bring in Cody Bellinger. Put him at first base. But I'm not giving Pete Alonso a 7-year deal. Again, it could just be Boras playing his games, and I don't begrudge him that. But 7 years for Pete Alonso, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I'd like to see the team that's going to do it. Remember, Toronto was interested. Well, they just signed Guerrero to that long-term deal, and he's a pretty good first baseman. Red Sox might be interested, but not at 7 years. So I want to see the team that's going to give Pete Alonso 7 years. So maybe Boras is going to pull at the heartstrings of Steve Cohen. Your fan base loves him so much. He's a favorite. He's a homegrown Met. Going to have 500 home runs. Might end up going to the Hall of Fame. Don't you want him to do it in a Met uniform? Not for 7 years. Not for 7 years. So Seattle beats Toronto 3-1 yesterday. Bryce Miller pitched great, despite a 27-pitch first inning where the first pitch that he threw was hit out by George Springer. Seattle pitching, though, remember, they played that 15-inning game on Friday. They retired 23 of the final 24 batters in a row. So Seattle's up 1-0. Game 2 is tonight. About that game on Friday. So it's against the Tigers. Tarek Skubal is just amazing. He really is. But the way the game is played now, it must be so frustrating to fans because it's frustrating to me, and I work in the business. So Skubal was just stupendous. 6 innings, 13 strikeouts. But he threw 99 pitches. That was it. That was it. It was over. So they go to the bullpen. Now, it ended up working out because the bullpen ended up throwing 8 more shutout innings. Well, they did give back the lead. They gave back 1 run, and then it ended up ending in 15 innings. But what value is it that your starter only gives you 6 innings, as great as those innings are? And I would take Tarek Skubal, and I'm not ripping Tarek Skubal. I'm ripping the way the game is played now. You're going to lift your starter at 99 pitches? Why? Are they that fragile that you can't get them to 120? I've said this over and over. This is not sustainable, people, in baseball. It's not. You can't expect everybody to come out of the bullpen and do the job. Somebody's going to have an off day. Baseball has to reevaluate and push their starters to 120 pitches. That should at least assure you of getting through 7 innings. This is a do-or-die game. You win and you advance to the ALCS. You lose and your season's over. And the best pitcher, maybe the best pitcher on the planet, is taken out after 6 innings because of that magic 100 pitch mark. Makes no sense to me. Makes no sense that a pitcher that's strong and healthy and young could not go to 120 And I'm not blaming the pitcher. I'm blaming the game of baseball because that's the way you train these athletes now. They look up at the board. They see the pitch count, the 100 pitches. They go, oh, I'm done. No. You think Bob Gibson would be taken out? Don Drysdale would be taken out? Sandy Koufax would be taken out? You think Jack Morris? I always said in the 1991 World Series, Jack Morris would not have left that game if it was still being played right now. He pitched into the 11th inning of Game 7 of the World Series. Do you think there's a pitcher out there that would do that right now? Even the guys that you think are the toughest guys in the world, they will not risk it, especially Skubal, who has one more year left on his contract. You think he wants to risk it? You think he wants to blow out his elbow and not get that big return that'll get him a 7 or 8 year contract at $40 million a year? Because that's what a guy like Skubal will get. And we see it with Garrett Crochet, who I think if he's not the best pitcher in the American League, he's second best. He would not go the extra mile with the White Sox until he signed the contract. Then the Red Sox gave him that big contract. All of a sudden, he's a bulldog. So these guys are playing chess. They know exactly, I'm not risking all that money for what? Until I get my bag, I'm not pushing myself. Congratulations to St. John's. They are 5th in the preseason AP poll in basketball, and UConn is 4th. UConn looks like it could win another championship, as Hurley has put together another really good team. That could be 3 out of 4 years. 3 out of 4 years. Another manager news, A.J. Hinch of the Tigers signed to a long-term extension with Detroit. James Franklin fired by Penn State after 3 straight losses, Oregon, UCLA, and Northwestern. UCLA and Northwestern, you were 20-point favorites in both of them. A $56 million buyout. And you wonder why kids pay $90,000 a year in tuition. They paid this guy $56 million to go away. Don't go away, though. Don Hahn and Rosenberg coming up next. We'll talk to you again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. In the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See everybody. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you tomorrow at 1.